If someone would have told me 10 years ago that one day I'd be riding motorcycles, I'd have a few to my name, and that I would quit my career as a high-performance tennis coach to become a motorcycle mechanic for Harley Davidson, I would think that they are absolutely bonkers. It initially began with just my dad wanting me to get more self-esteem, a little bit of courage to try new things. So he had offered for me to go take the motorcycle course. I just kind of went and did it because he had talked about it for months and months and months. And one day I called him up and I was like, all right, why not? I have a free weekend. I'll do it. What's the worst that can happen? I did not know anything when I took that motorcycle safety course. Never even sat on a motorcycle before. But when I got out of that class, passed the test, got my license and everything, my dad had my Kawasaki Vulcan, which I still have, and I bought it from him. I went straight to the bank, got a loan, gave it to my dad. Well, I took out a loan, gave my dad a check and whatnot. I bought that motorcycle within 2 weeks of me passing my class. That was the end of what once was and the beginning of everything else. And I'll say, when I first started riding, I just kind of rid around in my free time. I would ride to work. I would keep my tennis rackets at the tennis center that I worked at and all my coaching equipment there. So I would just pull up on my motorcycle and change in the locker rooms and then get to coaching and then ride in my free time. At first, that was enough. I figured, I had a good balance in life. But then COVID happened. COVID was a really big, a lot of people changed their careers during COVID. And I was one of them. If I were to do a career change, this would be the right time to do it. So I kind of laid low for a while, but I did do some private lessons, just at public courts with my students. And I remember the very last lesson I did, we were picking up balls, and I remember I was along the fence to grab a few, and motorcycles drove by, and all I could think about was I would do anything to just be by them all day long. It took over me. And at that point I knew I no longer had my heart in coaching, that I really needed to pull the gun and make a change. So I applied to my Harley Davidson and became a porter, and from there, worked my way up to service writer, apprentice, and then just mechanic, and then eventually advanced technician. I had made a video about that, and I'm sure I'll talk about it more in detail in the future. Would I do it all again if I could? I definitely would. No regrets there. And with that being said, I will say another way motorcycles changed my life is just the confidence and self-esteem I got. I had, newfound confidence to try new things, push myself to limits that I didn't think I was capable of. First, it just started, conquering the fear of riding them. And then once I got comfortable with riding motorcycles, I eventually got a sport bike and started pushing my limits there. And then eventually I wanted to learn how to fix them. And then eventually I wanted to fix other people's bikes. And it just kind of, but yeah, it just kind of made me believe that I'm capable more than I think I am. And then if I'm not able to do something at this moment, that I'm capable of learning it, as long as the will is there to have, to learn something. Because I do believe full-heartedly, if you don't have the will for it, it will not happen. But if you have the will to get something done, you will doggone find a way to get it done and make it happen. And I believe in this just to the end. I really believe in this. So that goes for all y'all people out there. If you really want to learn something, if you really want to get something done, it is possible. You just have to go and do it. Now, I think we all know this who ride, get it, but riding motorcycles really has a big impact on reducing your stress levels. It has been proven by researchers that after at least a 20-minute ride, stress levels were decreased by 28%, and they have their own way of researching how to figure that number out. For me, riding has been a form of therapy, and for many other people too. There's just something about this that just cures all of this mess up, And the last thing on this topic of, changing perspective on life is I started to look at myself differently. I am, with the confidence that I gained with riding motorcycles, besides even learning new skills and whatnot, it just made me feel better about myself. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, hey, I ride motorcycles, I'm the coolest kid on the block. It's nice when you believe that you can, because when you can, you will, and And if you believe you can't, then you won't. And I'll tell you, the people I've met while riding, also, that's another way motorcycles have changed my life. You can meet some really interesting people with some really interesting background. The people behind the gear and behind the motorcycle, they really vary, and their lifestyles really vary. My master tech, who I was an apprentice of, he definitely had a really big impact on me. Back when I lived in Virginia, I had really close friends that I met through bike night, and that they actually ended up being really close friends with me until we all kind of moved and spread across the United States. But if it wasn't for bike night, I'll say I would have never known that there were such amazing, wholehearted people. And I'm not saying that just the bike community is just filled with nothing but angels. Definitely, there are some pricks out there, there are some D-bags out there, but that goes with anything. But I will tell you, there are some real hidden gems of people within the bike community, and it's really worth stepping out and getting to know them. And last but least, definitely least, another way motorcycles has drastically changed my life is all the freaking money I spend on them. Between modifications, upgrades, taking care of maintenance. Luckily, I do my own maintenance, so I don't have to pay labor, but still. And on top of that, my tools. My toolbox was my dad's, so I got lucky there. But the tools, I had to buy little by little, and had a nice little Snap-on debt for a while. Not everything Snap-on, because some things are not necessary to be bought through Snap-on. But that's another video for another day, so y'all subscribe for that, and I will give you a whole rundown of what's in my toolbox and what I believe is necessary and not necessary to be bought from Snap-on, because they will get you and they will bend you over and never mind. But yeah, between all the tools that I have and just modifications, these don't come, this ain't no pocket change, and, but I don't mind it, you know? On top of that, gear, and as I get back to the sport bike world, I definitely do want to ride in gear, but that alone, gear is not something you'll find at your local Goodwill, that's for dang sure. So I figured I would just let y'all know a little bit about how motorcycles changed my life, because they definitely have effects on a lot of people's lives. And feel free to write down your experiences in the comments. I really love to hear when y'all talk about things that personally relate to y'all after y'all watch my videos. It lets me get a feel of, you know, who's watching my videos and what kind of people. And I really like to grow closer to y'all, you know? It's a nice feeling. So I definitely enjoy when, you know, y'all leave your experiences, the good and the bad, how it changed your life. But yeah, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching this video. I really hope y'all have a great day and y'all stay safe out there. I'll see you next time.